going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well today. My name is Mikhale Fisher, and today I'm going to be showing you on how to build generational wealth. But before I get started in that, let me just properly introduce myself and give you my story a little bit. So before I got started in the financial service industry, I really was just going through life like anybody else would. Just listen to my parents. They came here as immigrants from Jamaica, and they told me to go to school and get a job because that's what really worked for them. So I did just that. I went to school for exercise science, while also working as a personal trainer. Now, I really wasn't making a difference, but I found like my classes didn't really teach me how to run a business. They only taught me how to work in someone else's. Growing up, I've always been entrepreneurial minded. I grew up in New York, and I used to collect bottles and sell candy around the neighborhood. So I've always wanted to own my own business, but I felt like my classes didn't really teach me how to do that, and they didn't teach me the skills to do that, right? But what I wasn't learning in school, I did learn working as a personal trainer. And I did love that job because I do genuinely love helping people, especially with their fitness goals, which also increases their confidence in themselves. But I had two major problems working there. Number one is I didn't have any mentorship running the business. So I didn't have anybody showing me how to properly train or manage my clients or anything like that. And then number two, I was capped at my income I could make because I was only making money when I was training clients. So it was capped at how many training sessions I could run in a whole day, right? So I was pretty stuck there. And then someone introduced me to this company. And to be honest, I really didn't know what it was. I thought it was a scheme of some sort. But in reality, they just sat down with me. They showed me how I could take control of my time a little bit more and how I can also help families get to a healthier financial future. So I ended up hopping on board, and I went from helping families with their health to helping people with their wealth, right? And while doing that, I was able to surpass my income working as a personal trainer. I'm currently on track to becoming the next broker in the company, which means that I'm able to own a piece of PHP through the equity program we have, travel on company trips, and also a little bit closer to my goal of retiring my parents. But with that being said, you're probably thinking like, what do we do, right? So the company I work with is called PHP Agency, and it stands for People Helping People. Now we're an FMO, or financial marketing organization, and we market financial products on behalf of companies like AIG, Allianz, National Life Group, John Hancock, and many other Fortune 500 companies, right? And right now, there's a shift taking place in our industry. Why? It's because the average agent in financial services today is actually a 61-year-old white male. Now, there's nothing wrong with being 61 or white, but the main problem is that they have one foot in and one foot out, and they're about to retire. Now, these companies, they really don't care how old you are, where you come from, or the color of your skin. All they care about is the distribution of financial services. So people usually buy products from people that look like them, talk like them, and act like them, right? So if the average agent is a 61-year-old white guy, who do you think he's usually marketing to? You're probably right. It's probably other 61-year-old white guys, right? So who's being left behind? It's basically everybody else. So these companies are struggling to attract women, millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Zs, and minorities, right? So at PHP, we're positioned in a really great opportunity to attract all walks of life. Our CEO, Patrick David, he has a YouTube channel called Valuetainment, and this is the number one channel for entrepreneurs on YouTube with over 3 million subscribers right now. So it's pretty cool. Is that if you were watching his channel, you had actually have no idea that he was actually a CEO of a financial firm because he doesn't really use that platform to attract or recruit. He's just very passionate about entrepreneurship. So what's cool about our CEO is that he's super young. He's only 42 years old. He's also Assyrian and Iranian. And, you don't get any more diverse than that, right? We have an executive team that consists of an African American, Nigerian American, two Caucasians, two Mexican American, Salvadoran American, Puerto Rican / Cuban American, and many others, right? We're just a big melting pot, right? We're very big on diversity here. Our number one agency builder right now is actually a 35-year-old African American female, and she's currently making over 2 million per year. That's unheard of in this industry. You usually see in the industry, it's usually the good old boys club whiskey and cigars, right? But we want to resemble America. So with that being said, I'm gonna be showing you how exactly we help families build generational wealth. And now, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Mexican, like, it doesn't matter. Everybody's got money. Whether you're poor or rich, somebody's got money. So today, I'm going to be showing you the 3 ways that money grows. So let me share my screen here. So here, money grows three different ways, right? It grows fixed, variable, and index. So the first one is fixed, and there's plus or minuses for everything, right? So what are going to be your fixed accounts? These are going to be your banks, your CDs, your money markets, your bonds, anything that's safe, right? So the plus is that you put money into a bank because it's safe, right? A lot is backed by the FDIC up to a quarter mil. So why a lot of people do this is because it's safe. So what's the downside here, right? The downside is that you get low growth, right? You get 0 to 1%, and that's if you're lucky, right? Most people I sit down with, their savings account gets like 0.001% growth, right? So you're getting very low growth, but it is safe in that account. Now, if you're a visual learner like me, this is what it looks like on a graph. So it goes up a little bit, it goes up, but it stays flat, right? It's mostly flat. So this is good. A lot of people have these type of accounts, but it's not the best out there, right? The next we have variable accounts. And these are going to be your stock markets. These are going to be your 401ks, 403bs, anything that has to do with real estate, stock market, anything that's variable. So with this, what's the upside to this? A lot of people get into these accounts because of the growth, right? That's why a lot of people get into them. But what goes up must come down, right? So what's the downside? You can lose all or a portion of your money. Now, if we look back at the dot-com bubble, right? A lot of these companies were starting to get launched, Microsoft, AOL, and a lot of these companies, right? So when that bubble burst, the stock market crashed, right? Goes up again. What happened in 2008, 2009? The market crash, the housing market crash. So you could lose all to a portion of your money. Now that decade is actually called the lost decade, because if you invested in from that period, you actually didn't make a lot of money. So with this, if you're a visual learner like me, this is what it looks like on a graph. It goes up, it goes up, it goes down, goes up, goes up, more up than down, but when it's down, it crashes, right? So this is good for some people, but it's not the best out there, right? And the next we have index. Now this is not the most popular account out there, and why? It's because the average agent in this service in the field today is a 61-year-old, right? So he's not marketing it out to other people. But with this, there's two types of accounts for this. It's fixed indexed annuities and indexed universal life insurance policies. It's fixed indexed annuities and indexed universal life insurance policies. And with this, you get safety, right? So this is an insurance policy. So you go to an insurance policy and get a policy like this, and they tell you that it has a disposition to never lose value. So it's always going to be safe, right? But what's the downside? The downside is that you're capped. You're capped at 9%. So you can grow your money anywhere from 0 to 9%. So what does that look like? So let's just say you sign up with a policy and get an IUL, Index Universal Life Insurance Policy. Now that plan is going to be indexed to the S&P 500. Now this is the top 500 companies in the country right now, from your Googles, your Apples, your Amazons, Teslas, all that. So let's say the market goes up 20%. What does your account look like after this year? It's going to be 9% because your cap's at 9%. But let's say that the market does an average rate of return at 8% in the next year. What does your account get? 8% that year as well. But let's just say, the unexpected happens. We had with COVID, maybe the stimulus stuff is happening. The market crashes 38%. What does your account get now? It's actually zero, right? So because you have the 0% floor. So this is really great. So this is a big one. Why we do this is because you get the growth of the stock market, but the safety of the bank, right? Now, if you're a visual learner like me, this is what it looks like on a graph. So the market goes up, you go up. When it crashes, you go flat. When it's up, it's up. When it crashes, you go flat. When it's up, it's up. Crashes go flat, so forth and so on. So this is very big. And when I sit down with a lot of people, I ask them, like, if you could put most, not all of your money in one account, which one would you pick? And most of them say index. But I want to make sure, right? I don't want to make sure they're making the right decision. So we go back on it. So when it comes to fixed accounts, you like the safety, right? Exactly. But you don't like the low growth of your bank account, right? Nobody does. You want to grow your money, right? But with variable accounts, you like the growth of the stock market, correct? Exactly. But nobody likes to lose money, right? So losing money is a negative here. But when it comes to the index, do you like the safety? Yeah. And do you also like a rate of return up to 9%? Exactly. So we see a lot of these people get a lot of these plans because it's the best of both worlds. And now you're not putting most of your money in it. You're just putting some. So I'm not a big believer in all eggs in one basket, but when you diversify in different accounts, that's where you get the best to build generational wealth. Now, have you ever heard of Warren Buffett? You're probably thinking like, who is that, right? Or you're saying like, oh yeah, I know who that is. He's this deca billionaire, right? Very rich guy, and he has two rules of money. Now the first rule says never to lose money, right? That's his first rule. And guess what his second rule is? Don't forget rule number one, right? So he's very big on principal protection. So this is what principal protection is. So let's say you have your 401k and you're putting $100 in your 401k in a variable stock market account. Now let's say we have a very bad year and the market goes down 50%. What's your account at now? $50, right? But let's say it makes a full recovery up 50%. What's your account at now? Most people that I sit down with say $100, but it's actually 75. Now why is that? Because it's 50% of your new principal, which is $50. So half of 50 is 25. So that's going to be 75 total dollars that you have left over. So this is very big on why we see a lot of people move their money out of a variable into an index, is because they don't want to lose money. Now, if these billionaire guys are saying don't lose money, don't you think it's going to be a good advantage for you to do that as well? And if you do, feel free to contact me if you're interested with index accounts. My phone number is 914-924-7541. Again, that's 914-924-7541. If you're interested in index accounts, trying to get your money out of the variable market. Now, when I sit down with people, I ask them, like, do you currently have a fixed account, a bank account, a CD? Most of them say they do, right? When I sit down with people, I ask them if they have a variable account. Maybe they have a 401k, a 403b, maybe they have a brokerage account, maybe they own real estate. Most of them do. But when I ask people, do they have an indexed account? Most of them say they don't. And they say, I asked them, like, why is that? Like, why don't you have an account that's indexed? And they usually say, I've never heard about it, and that's why we're very big on this crusade with our company, because the average agent isn't going to my communities, diverse communities that are overlooked and underserved, to show these people how to build wealth like this, because these billionaire guys are already doing this. So we're being left behind. So we as a company are looking for more people that are going to share this knowledge and help your communities. So I just want to show a quick video that goes over the more of the opportunity with our company. But next, we go over the 5 homes of money. Now I'm not gonna go over this today, but that's another concept that we teach at PHP Agency. I just want to share this one video. It just gives you a brief overview on what we are as a company.
Americans owe $1.57 trillion in student debt.
Will the rising trade tensions between the U.S. and China just keep pushing these markets lower?
Underemployment among recent college grads is actually worse today than it was in the early 2000s.
Saving for
Teaching the basics of entrepreneurship, PHP Agency is equipping agents with a step-by-step blueprint. Tracking, reporting, and accountability are key factors to business development. PHP Agency is attracting the leading companies in the insurance industry and drawing major attention from major influencers.
The care with which PHP treats every single consumer. PHP is different in the sense that you know that the people working at the company, from the CEO to individual agents, truly care about their customers.
PHP teaches the rules of the money game to a multicultural demographic that has been overlooked and underserved. Most have never been exposed to what entrepreneurship can do for the typical family. PHP's culture of competition and attention to personal development accelerates one's success. With the top compensation package in the marketplace for entrepreneurial agency builders, PHP is ushering a new era of multicultural and diverse agents. Like world travel, PHP Agency awards top performers on exotic trips to create lifelong experiences. There's a reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. PHP Agency is helping those take a stand and stop generational poverty by impacting those overlooked and underserved. PHP is more than just an insurance marketing organization. It's a mission, a cause, and a crusade. Connect with us and become part of this movement.
There you go. So that shows a little bit more of the opportunity with our company. I just got back from our elite training event in Dallas, Texas, about a couple weeks ago. And you know what you see in the video with the culture? Yeah, that's our culture. We don't look like an average financial services company. You know, we had 2,500 people down in Dallas. It was like a party. We were like, it was crazy. But if you're looking for an opportunity where you can build a business in a recession and a pandemic-proof industry, teaching these financial concepts to people that haven't looked at this before, feel free to contact me. Again, my number is 914-924-7541. That's 914-924-7541. And my email is mfisher, Fisher, .php@gmail.com. So again, if you're looking at any of these concepts that you would like to learn more about, the index, the variable or the fixed accounts, feel free to contact me. Or if you're looking for an opportunity where you can build a business teaching this to other people, I'm looking for more people to teach this to and mentor. But that would be great for you to reach out, and we'll see if you can work with us. But with that being said, that's my time. Thank you, Phil, for letting me be on today.